to the Wolfman Basketball channel. This is my first episode, and today we are discussing the 2025 NBA draft. There were a lot of movements right before the draft, right after, or even during the NBA Finals, and we'll be discussing those deals in a summary of the offseason, forever which team, and we're going to try to grade each team, but that would be for a later episode. Today, we're just going to see and discuss who should go to which teams in this 2025 NBA draft. And with that, the Dallas Mavericks, with the first pick, drafts Cooper Flag. He's the best player available. He has been the number one consensus draft pick since the start of the whole process. And I don't think Dallas will do anything to mess it up. And I think they will go and draft Cooper Flag. For the second pick, the San Antonio were able to jump up on the draft lottery, and they will definitely go for the next best player available, and that would be Dylan Harper from Rutgers. He's a combo guard. He has great feel for the game, great size, so I don't think that there would be any issues with him being on the team and, maybe an overlap with the position, but I think he is a great fit for them. For the third pick, I have the Philadelphia 76ers actually trading out of that third pick, since the consensus is still Ace Bailey as the third best player available, but there were some issues there. Him and his agent not wanting to work out with the Sixers and the other teams, and I get it. He wants to go to the best position or best team available to be. And for me, it will be the Brooklyn Nets trading the number 8 pick, and also another first round pick to the Philadelphia 76ers, the number 26 pick, in exchange for the number 3 pick. And they will draft Ace Bailey. And he would be a great fit for Brooklyn. They don't really have any core players right now, but that would be a good fit for them. For the fourth pick, I have them, the Charlotte Hornets. I have them going and select the best player available, and that would be VJ Edgecombe. I had originally had Kaman here going for them since with the Mark Williams trade, but Hornets having issues getting players to go commit or work out for them. So I think maybe we'll just go and get the next best player, which will be VJ Edgecombe out of Baylor. He's a great he's a great guard, very athletic, probably the best athlete in the draft. He has also shown a little bit of a two-way potential in the next level. Hopefully, I know that there are a lot of talks of him going or being like an Anthony Edwards compared to Anthony Edwards. I don't think, that is too high of expectations to put on the kid, but he's a great athlete. He would fit the style of the Charlotte run and gun offense. So I think he is a perfect fit for them right now as the current team is constructed. And with the next pick, the Utah Jazz, again, would still go with the next best player available. They have a lot of needs, but I think they need just the best player available at this spot. And that would be Trey Johnson, since there's a lot of talk of them trading out, trading away rather, Lauri Markkanen or Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson. I think he would be a perfect fit here. He has probably the best shooter of the draft, but not just a pure shooter. He has a great feel for the game. Can move the ball, can score, not just on a three, can score inside in the perimeter. He'll be a great fit for Utah going forward, regardless, since they don't have really that star player to build around. So I think that they would just go for the next best player available in the draft. And with the sixth pick, the Washington Wizards, again, they have a lot of need, but at least they have building blocks like Alex Sarr, Bob Carrington, and they have actually traded Jordan Poole away in exchange for CJ McCollum, so that they are positioned to have at least $100 million in the free agency for next year. So that's a thing that you can watch. But I think that they would go for a point guard right here. And since that is a need for them, I think Jeremiah Fears would fit that position, and they can have their guard of the future at least. You know, he can be a great partner with Alex Sarr and also Bob Carrington moving forward. I also thought of he has a good size, 6'3", 6'4", about 180. So I don't think the size is a concern. He has a great downhill ability, very fast, very quick with the ball. So I think he's a perfect fit for Washington at number 6. And with the 7th pick, it will be the New Orleans Pelicans. And with the Pelicans trading with the Washington Wizards, now they now have Jordan Poole as a point guard. They can have him for 2 years at least if they don't decide to move him. So I think the best player that they can have now for the team, I think that they are trying to compete in the West. So I think that they have, or they would want, a connector, a shooter, and that would be Con Knueppel from Duke. He's probably the second best, if not tied for the best shooter with Trey Johnson. So I think him being surrounded by Jordan Poole, or Zion being surrounded by shooters like Jordan Poole, Con Knueppel, Trey Murphy, I think that's a good fit. They have great wing defenders. If you have any concerns with defense with Knueppel, so I think that would be a good fit. At the 8th pick, the Philadelphia 76ers, after they traded down with a trade with Brooklyn for the 3rd pick and the 26th pick as well. They have now the 26th and the 8th pick. I think they will go for, again, an all-around player, defender that can help alleviate some concerns if Paul George is not around, or if they cannot sign. That would be Noah Essinga. If they are unable to trade Paul George or re-sign Yabusele, I think. I know he's a smaller player, but he's currently listed here at 6'8", but I think with the latest measurements, I think he measured at 6'10", 6'11". So, and he's only 18 years old, early 18. So he needs to definitely just bulk up. And I think with Paul George still on the team, Noah Essinga will benefit picking the brains of Paul George to improve his game, to be a better all-around player. I don't think that, with all the negative things surrounding PG, he's still one of the best swing players in the NBA. And for the ninth pick, I think the Toronto Raptors will definitely go. It's going to be a typical Masai pick, right? We all know who it's going to be at center. It will be Kemon Malawach. There's a huge need for center for the Toronto Raptors. So I think that Kemon Malawach would be a perfect fit here for them. Uh, Still very young, raw prospect, but and you could say there's concerns with his offense, but I think with Masai's track record, drafting this long athletic players before and able to develop them, you know. So I think that this is the best spot for Kaman in terms of that, and having that Masai connection is going to be big for him, you know. So yeah, the Raptors and having not having the pressure to be a starter, having Jakob Pearl still on the team. So Kaman will have time to develop. Maybe he can, if he improves fast enough, they can move Jakob and by the trade deadline and have Kaman be a full-time starter. We don't know, but at least that they will have a young center for the future for the Toronto Raptors. And next up, after the Kevin Durant trade, the Phoenix Suns will now be getting the 10th overall pick, originally from Houston, that was traded from Brooklyn, that was originally from Phoenix. So basically, they are just getting their own draft pick here. And I know that they have a lot of wings now. So they have what they need is they have always been wanting a center, but I will have them selecting a point guard in Kasparis Jakuchonis from Illinois. I think it's time for Booker to move to his normal spot at the two guard and not be so much being on the ball. Since he's more effective being an off-ball scorer. He's a great on-ball scorer. I mean, ball handler as well. But I think with Jalen Green and Devin Booker having a good point guard play right now. He may not be a day one starter, but having a point guard for the future who does have size, you don't have to be concerned with the defense. Again, I'm not saying he's a good defender, but he has the size to be a good defender in the next level. So at least that's not a concern. And then, maybe later on the draft, the Suns can get a center that they have always been looking for, or maybe in the free agency. So the number 10 fit, the Phoenix Suns go with Jakuchonis. And for the 11th pick, the Portland Trail Blazers also made a move to get Drew Holiday from the Boston Celtics and trading Anthony Simons. Right? So I think the best move for them right now, I mean, they made that move maybe to, have some mature presence on the team, right? Especially in the guard position. They have Shadion Sharp and Scoot Henderson. It's definitely, they've decided to be that he's going to be their, point guard of the future. So I have him draft Carter Bryant from Arizona Wildcats. I know that the Portland Trailblazers already have Toumani Camara on the wings, Shaedon Sharpe in the wing, but and Danny Avdija as their starting small forward. But you can in today's NBA you can have too many wing players, 3 and D guys. So I think Carter Bryant would be a good fit for them right now. He can't, there are concerns of him being a low usage player in Arizona. That's why I think him being in Portland would be a perfect fit. He can go behind Toumani Camara as the starting shooting guard or starting small forward. So I think that they have a track record of having a player like him and develop Carter Bryant to be a later high volume 3 and D guy for them. So I really like that for them. And for the 12th pick, the Chicago Bulls. Again, with the Bulls, there's a lot of need on the team other than the point guard or the shooting guard position. There are a lot of talks about Nikola being traded or Lonzo Ball being traded, but and also Giddey, being a restricted free agent. I think there would be a lot of you know talk there. So really, I originally had Jaeger Demon going to them, but I will have to go with Derek Queen for the Chicago Bulls. I know there were a lot of questions about his game, especially during the combine. His metrics were not that good, but this is a swing pick definitely for the Chicago Bulls. He is a good scorer, great scorer in the college level. I think he will benefit having uh, Josh Giddey on the team. So him being able to score on the low post or drive and be sort of a offensive hub, you know, in the NBA. Maybe not right away, but on the lower level, kind of. I think Chicago is a perfect fit for him at this time, especially if they do decide to trade Nikola Vucevic. And for the 13th pick, the Atlanta Hawks, they also made a trade. Later in the draft, they traded the 22nd pick as part of their Porzingis trade. So they did traded to Brooklyn. So currently they only have one draft pick. We all know that Hawks was trying to look for a center. So I originally had Thomas Serber actually going to the Hawks, but since now they have Kristaps and Okongwu, sorry, on the team, I think that they will go with more ball handler that can help Trey when he's not there, and that would be a big guard also that can help them on the wing. Um, again, in this NBA, you can't have too many big wings or guards in the league. So I have the Atlanta Hawks selecting Jaeger Demon from BYU. So there are a lot of concerns with Jaeger's shooting and maybe his aggressiveness. So, but I think with Atlanta, Jalen Johnson coming back, I think that they are able to swing this pick for Jaeger being a good connector, a great passer. Again, he's not expected to be a day one starter, but with his size um, and his passing, ball handling, I think he will be a great fit to come off the bench for Trey at this point. Trey is also up for a big extension, so that's that. there for Atlanta to decide. But again, I think Jaeger is a great uh, emergency point guard. You can say that, but he can be a connector. They have wings. They have Jalen Johnson now. They have Jason Daniels. So I think, and now Kristaps. I think so. Jaeger is a good fit for Atlanta. With the 14th pick, the San Antonio Spurs, they already have Dylan Harper as the second pick. And with Victor Size, I think the perfect fit for him right now is someone that can also help him defend. So not everything is filtered through him. Um, I have them going for Colin Murray Bullets. I think a lot of people expect or want the Spurs to draft a player with size, uh, as a backup for Wemby, but having CMB, I think it would benefit the Spurs not having to rely solely with, you know, Wemby's defensive presence inside. A lot of people are comparing Colin Marboy's defensive upside to a Draymond Green. Again, you know, that's the ceiling right there. We all know he's an all timer, but you know, the similarities are there. So I understand the comparison, at least. In the 15th pick, the rich getting richer, the 2025 NBA champions, OKC Thunder. Here there were news that they would want to trade up to the 10th pick, but as of right now, there's no news on that as of making the video, so I don't know, but we're just gonna have them select here at number 15. They could go multitude of ways here. I don't think whoever they draft here won't probably be able to play right away. So I kind of just have them draft maybe a replacement for Hartenstein in the future. So I have them draft a big, and that would be Michigan's Danny Wolf. He's a legit 7-footer who can bring down the ball, who can play make. He can also shoot, but he would need the ball a lot in his hands, and so he can still develop. So right now, I just he can work with OKC. Hopefully, he gets playing time somewhere down the road. And with the 16th pick, I have the Grizzlies. This pick came from the Orlando Magic and sort of blockbuster Desmond Bain trade. And they have a lot of young players that they were able to get in the draft with Jalen Wells, right? Zach Edey. But I think that they will go with a similar player to Desmond Bain, since they traded Desmond Bain not because they didn't want him, but mostly because of his salary and the upcoming extension of Jared Jackson and John Morant. So they just shutting salary. So I had them drafting Jace Richardson from Michigan State. He's small, but he's a great scorer, great shooter, number one, which Desmond Bain was for Memphis. So he's a great shooter, he has a great feel for the game. I know he's small at 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", but he has NBA pedigree and he has a great feel for the game, I think. So having him there as a backup for John Morant, just in case, I think that would be a perfect fit for them in Memphis. And for the 17th pick, I have the Timberwolves selecting I originally wanted Cedric Coward here, but with all the news and with interviews, I think the Timberwolves will go for a backup big, having which will be Thomas Sorber from Georgetown. So I think they are able to prepare him for the future, eventually, or maybe next year, or maybe even this year, trading Rudy Gobert. So we don't know. And for the Wizards, I have it going with Cedric Howard. He's the best player available for me at this time and at this point of the draft. And he was the biggest riser of the draft. And Wizards having veteran presence like Chris Middleton that he can learn from. I think he's a perfect fit for Washington. He's a good shooter, has the potential to be a great shooter, great measurables, 7'2" wingspan for a 6'6" guard, small forward. I mean, that's just incredible. So hopefully he gets there with Washington and be able to work with Chris Middleton in the 19th pick. Now, with the Brooklyn Nets, their second pick of the draft after trading with Philadelphia with the third pick and getting Ace Bailey in the 19th pick. I want them to get a big man here. You can say a project big man, but has a lot of upside in John Berenger from France. I don't know if I'm saying that right. John or Joan Berenger or Berenger. So he has a lot of upside. Great size, 7'4" wingspan, very athletic, lob threat. Very modern day big. I think in his interview, he did say he looked at or he watches a lot of Jarek Lively, which is a perfect fit for him. So I think that's a good pick for Brooklyn. Now with the 20th pick, the Miami Heat is now selecting a do-it-all player, one of my favorites in this draft, Nick Clifford from Colorado State. I think, at 6'6", 200, averaged 9.5 rebounds, 20 points, and 4.5 assists. Mr. Do-It-All. Kind of a Josh Hart player, but I think this is the perfect Miami Heat player, with Cedric Coward gone, he is the next best player I think that would fit Miami and to go along and be a connector with Bam and Tyler Hero in the perimeter. Now with the 21st pick, the Utah Jazz. This pick originally came from the Minnesota Timberwolves of the Rudy Gobert trade. And they already had Trey Johnson with the 5th pick in this draft. And for the number 21, again, there are a lot of holes to fill with Utah with the news of them trading away some of their veterans in Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, John Collins maybe, and even maybe Lauri Markkanen down the line. So with the Utah Jazz, I will have them select Will Riley from Illinois. There would be a lot of, with Henderson, there would be a lot of overlap. But I think since they don't have that, player that is sort of the core player, young core player. I think so would be getting as much good players, shot creators or playmakers will be ideal for me if I was Utah. So just get the best players available, wings, great size. He is a little undersized at 180, but 6'8", has a lot of potential there. Can pull up jumper is good. Shot creator is great, you know. So I have them there going there now. The 22nd pick is currently with well, not with Atlanta. It's now was traded to Brooklyn as again part of the Kristaps Porzingis trade. You can call it that. Treyman was also involved in that pick, and George Niang going to the Boston Celtics when in a salary cap move for the Celtics. So now again with the Brooklyn Nets again now. They have now Ace Bailey and John Berenger. I think it will be best now for them to get the best point guard remaining or available for me. He was a top 5, top 10 projected player last year, and that is Nolan Traore from France. So having a French connection, number one, is great. Point guard in a big, can't go wrong there. So and a lob threat in a great point guard. He's really quick with the ball, can pass. Struggled with the shot this year, but I think with lower expectations and having a shot maker like Ace with Brooklyn and hopefully John Berenger if he plays for Brooklyn day one, I think it would be a perfect combination, those three for Brooklyn. And with the 23rd pick, the New Orleans Pelicans, they selected Colin Knueppel at with the seventh pick. I think that they can go with a big this time at with Asa Newell from Georgia. A lot of people are saying that he's not really a center. He's not that big or not long compared to his measurables, like when you see him in person. But with ease missing out, I don't think right now he's a lock to be their center of the future. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have a backup like Asa Newell with New Orleans. So, and with the 24th pick, the champions, OKC Thunder. Again, I don't think that they will be drafting at this spot, but I have them going Noah Penda, just basically based on the archetype that Sam Presti usually drafts. You know, versatile player. He doesn't really have much offense, but he's a great, solid defender. Some say he can be a Nikola Batum, so I think that would be a perfect fit for OKC. With the 25th pick, now the Orlando Magic would be selecting. I think they since they have Desmond Bain, a lot of people were trying to have them or go with Jace Richardson, but now since they have Desmond Bain, I think the perfect fit for them right now is just to have versatility in the front court, can shoot, can defend, and that's why I'm having them select Rasheer Fleming from St. Joseph. He he's a big he has a long wingspan, you know. He has a 7'5", 7'6" wingspan for a 6'9" forward. He can play the four, maybe some five with his wingspan. He can shoot the ball. He can defend. He can do it all on both ends a little bit. Not, he said that he looked up to or watched a lot of Nas Reed, and I think they are from the same area, so that would be good for Orlando. But the 26th pick, the Philadelphia selects a big guy here after drafting Noah Esenge. They would go. I will have them going with Maxime Renault from Stanford. I think he's a perfect fit here for Philadelphia. He has the size. He can shoot. With Joel, of course, expecting to be, having load management, so expecting to miss some games. I'm not expecting him to play 75, 82 games, right? So having a real legit 7-footer down low who can score inside and out, can also defend And you have the wings, you have shooters. He's an okay passer. As a big man, I think he's a great fit for Philadelphia at the 26th pick. And now moving to the 27th pick with the Brooklyn Nets. And they have the Ace Bailey, their scorer, Bellinger as their lob threat center, defender, and point guard of the future in Nolan Traore. I have them going with Liam McNeely. They can add a shooter. I mean, I don't expect them to keep all the four picks right now, but if they do, I think just fill out the team with the best players available. And currently, for me, Liam McNeely, some say this is a low spot for him. Other people say actually that this is a high spot for him. You know, I heard from Barlow that some agents are viewing him as a second round, or they have him as a second round player. So 27th pick, a shooter will be great for the young Brooklyn Nets. And now with the 20th pick, the Boston Celtics. I feel since they traded Kristaps that they need center, and I don't think that they'll be able to re-sign Cornette, but maybe they do. But it wouldn't hurt to have a backup plan for a center, and that's why I have them draft Ryan Kalkbrenner from Creighton. And with the 29th pick, I have the Phoenix Suns go with, after they drafted a point guard, they still need a center. They wanted a center of the future. And I have a big swing here and have them draft a legit 7-footer that can also play make. And that would be the big guy from China, Hansen Yang, with a 29th pick. Again, it's a swing pick. They can hopefully get a center of their future, but maybe. I mean, Hansen Yang, it's worth the risk at this spot, I think. And with what they need, I think it's a good spot for him. And with the Clippers, with the last pick of the draft, the first round, I have them go with the champion Walter Clayton Jr. as a replacement, or hopefully a future replacement for James Harden as point guard of the future. And that's it. That is my 2025 NBA mock draft. I hope you enjoy. I know the video is not that good right now, but I hope you enjoy it. Please comment below any suggestions about the video presentation. Hopefully I can improve this in the future. But for now, if you agree or disagree, let's discuss it